Welcome or welcome back to 4F Beauty. When will I be YouTube famous? I don't know. Today's look though is using a palette from someone who is YouTube famous. Finally got my hands on some Kat Von D. The Chrysalis palette. I don't normally discuss drama on this channel, but this needs to be said. I couldn't give two hoots if she's a vegan. I couldn't give two hoots if she's planning to raise her child vegan, so long as that child is nutritionally supported, which vegan lifestyles can and do. You don't need to eat meat to get protein, and if you decide that you want to get your protein in other ways, I don't have any issue with that at all. Providing your child is well fed, well supported emotionally and physically, then I don't give two hoots whether they're vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, or what they are. What I do take issue with is her statement that she will not be vaccinating her child. I know there was an awful lot of furore in the press a few years ago about vaccines being linked to autism. That one study from one doctor has been disproved time and time and time and time again. The doctor who released that report has since withdrawn it and said he was wrong. He has been struck off from ever being able to work in the medical field ever again because of mismanagement and irregularities. And really, is having an autistic child such a bad thing? I don't think so. Choosing not to vaccinate your child doesn't just put your child at risk, it puts every other person that your child comes into contact with at risk. Measles kills. Mumps can kill, can leave you sterile. Polio can kill, can leave you severely disfigured, disabled for the rest of your life. These vaccinations have been around for years. Yes, autism rates are going up. That's not because people are vaccinating their children. It's because autism is being recognised more. Children who in the past would have been labelled as slow, backwards, even having some kind of mental instability. And I hate those three terms, by the way. It's not terms that I use, it's the terms that were used back then. A lot of those kids probably were on the autistic spectrum somewhere, and with the right care and support wouldn't have been disadvantaged by just, oh, you know, they're slow, don't worry about it, just, The fact that autism is being diagnosed so much better nowadays is all to the good for the children being diagnosed with it. There are some children who cannot be vaccinated because they have some kind of suppression to their immune system, and they cannot physically be vaccinated because injecting them with the inert form of the vaccine would cause their bodies to overreact, and rather than just forming antibodies so that should they come into contact with the live virus at some point in their life, knowing how to fight it off, their bodies overreact or underreact and they get seriously ill, so they cannot physically be vaccinated. They rely on what is known as herd immunisation. They rely on when they go to school, every other child in that class has been immunised against a disease that could kill them. So that should that child have come into contact with that disease, they are not carrying it, they will not spread it. Gone are the days before vaccines when mothers would ring round and go, oh, little Jimmy's got chickenpox, let's have a chickenpox party so that every kid can catch it now and get it out of the way. We don't have to do that anymore. We have vaccinations to keep children safe, to stop them from picking up diseases that could kill. For her to announce to her, 12 million followers she's got, that she will not be vaccinating her child, that's dangerous, because that's going to have a lot of people thinking, well, if Kat Von D's not going to do it, I'm not going to do it. You are putting people at risk, not just your child, but every other person your child comes into contact with, and I have an issue with that. I'm aware of stuff that Kat Von D's done in the past. I'm aware of the anti-Semitic note she allegedly, because she claims she didn't write it, although a handwriting analysis was 99.1% sure that it was her handwriting, in an anti-Semitic note left to her ex-boss when she left LA Inc. The various different boyfriends and fiancés and husbands she's had that are white supremacists and neo-Nazis. There are a lot of rumours that have come out in the past, which is why so many people were flabbergasted when she came out and accused Jeffree Star of being racist, because, girl, if you live in a glass house, you shouldn't be throwing stones. Your past is not pure as the driven snow. But because none of that could definitively be proved, because she denied it, the Christian in me was like, okay, maybe she's changed. The same as when Jeffree apologised for 10-year-old racism that he apologised for at the time, and he has continually apologised for. I continued to buy his products because I'm like, do you know what, I like his makeup. I wasn't aware of all of that when I first started buying his makeup. I'm not going to waste the money I've spent by not using it. And the man has apologised, and as a Christian, I need to allow him that chance to prove that he has changed. I genuinely don't know whether I can ever bring myself to buy any more Kat Von D products, because the step that she's taken in very publicly denouncing vaccinations is so dangerous and so foolhardy. I managed to get this from Depop. I got this second hand. Dropped through my door the day all this shit kicked off with her post about not vaccinating her child. I've spent days trying to decide whether I want to even put this on my channel. But my channel is about makeup. My channel is about the love of makeup. I got this second hand, so I haven't put money into her pocket. So I've used it for this video today, because one of you out there, you could have this palette. I'm not saying you haven't already done an eye look like this, you probably have. Do I like the palette? Yes. Will I buy any more of her stuff? I genuinely don't know, but the way I feel right now, no, I won't. There are schools and colleges in America that refuse to allow your child admittance if they haven't been vaccinated, in order to protect the rest of the faculty and the pupils within that building. So not only is she laying her child open to the chance of catching a deadly disease and passing that deadly disease on to every person they meet, she's also compromising their education. That I can't condone. I thank you if you've made it this far. By all means, I'm going to leave my comments open on my videos. I've never turned my comments off on any of my videos. I'm leaving my comments open. All that I ask is that if you are going to discuss this amongst yourselves, please be respectful to each other. I will not have bullying in my comments. I will not have people calling each other names in my comments. Please be respectful to each other. And if you're still interested and want to find out how I got this eye look with this palette, here comes the tutorial. Thank you for listening. Hey, welcome back from the intro. I'm just dusting coaty air spun off of me because it does go everywhere. As you can see, got my base done. I'm sorry about the fan, but it's ridiculously hot. I used my Becca Aqualuminous Perfecting Foundation in Fair. The concealer that I used today is, because obviously that's a luminous foundation, Born This Way, which is pretty much one of the only radiant concealers I've got in Very Fair. Set it all down with my coaty air spun, translucent extra coverage. Did my usual Winky Lux coffee bronzer and L'Oreal Life's a Peach blusher. Still going on this sample of the Goof Proof for my brows. And set it with my Essence Clear Brow Gel. Right. I will have already covered the Kat Von D issues in my intro. That's when I'm planning to cover it. If you've watched my makeup I wished I owned, one of the things on there was a Kat Von D Mi Vida Loca palette, which is selling for ridiculous prices, and up until recently, anyone who knows me will be able to tell you I've had a shocking butterfly and moth phobia. Managed to get over the butterfly bit, still having issues with the moths, but that was why I didn't originally buy this palette, because the colours inside it are exactly the sort of colours that I wear. but the fact it had a butterfly on the front, I couldn't bring myself to buy it. This is the Chrysalis palette by Kat Von D, and someone was selling it on, I just realised it says a metamorphosis of colour on the spine. Okay. Someone was selling this on Depop. They'd had it bought for them. They'd swatched it, wasn't their colours, it had just been sitting in their collection doing nothing, so they sold it. So I thought, brilliant, barely been used, decent price, I think I paid 18 quid including postage for it. Fab. Dropped through my door the day the whole Kat Von D shit blew up. So part of me is like, do I really want to film this? And part of me, because I'm not a drama channel, I know on my Hell Yeah Whoa No I made comment on a couple of dramas that were happening, but that's because it's specifically related to makeup that I was talking about. And I've really debated about whether or not to film with this palette because of all the shit that went up, because I can't put a video up and not make reference to the shitstorm, basically, that is going down at the moment around Kat Von D. But my channel is about makeup, my channel is about enjoying makeup. I still don't know whether I'm going to be able to bring myself to buy any Kat Von D in future, but this had already been bought. I didn't put any extra money into Kat Von D's pocket because I bought it second hand. I love the colours. I've never had Kat Von D before. I've wanted a Kat Von D palette for a long time. So I made the decision that I am going to film with it. Completely understand if you don't want to watch this video. Completely understand if you haven't even got this far in the video. However, let's get on with the makeup, shall we? Now, as I always say, purples and blues are two of the most difficult colours to formulate, and there's both in this palette. I'm going to put some swatches up here now that I did earlier, swatching all of the colours. The top three colours really don't show up very well on my skin at all, but then that's hardly surprising, to be quite honest, because they are obviously a matte highlight and two shimmer highlight shades by the look of things. So there we go, starting with the purple section by my wrist, then the sort of very, very neutral brown and grey, and then moving on to the blues at the end. And I'm back. Hi. Okay. Let's zoom you in and let's get going with this makeup. Right, let's see now, is that white balance going to catch up with me? Yeah, there we go. Okay, because powders from, although I've already set my lid, I don't use an eyelid primer. I've got oily eyelids, and I find that carrying my foundation, concealer and setting powder over it holds my eyeshadow fine. If you've got really, really dry or super, super oily eyelids, you may find a separate primer helpful, but for me, if I haven't got to buy an extra bit of kit, I ain't going to buy it. But powders from the same palette do tend to blend better on themselves, and as there is a powder in here which is pretty much the colour of my skin tone, whoa, that kicks up in the pan. Look at that. I hope you can do that. I barely even touched it. So I'm going to run that across my lid. I will say, when I swatched these, I was amazed at how buttery those mattes felt. Be interesting to see how much fallout there is, if any, from them, particularly the darker shades. I do have my colour switch here to change colours, as always. Now, shall I go in with the purples, or shall I go in with the blues, or shall I do both? Let's do both, shall we? Right, time to work out where your crease is. If when you look straight ahead you can see all of your mobile lid like I can, great, you can just follow me, you can follow the natural curve of your eyeball. If you don't see that when you look straight ahead, then you've either got a hooded or a half hooded lid. Doesn't mean you can't follow my tutorial or any tutorial. All you need to do is get a fine art pencil brush. Hey baby, husband's mowing the lawn, he's just about to walk through with a box full of grass clippings. Anyway, I will continue. Looking straight ahead, if you get a pencil brush or a slightly finer brush with your eye open, you can just sketch out where you need your crease to start. It is literally a case of just moving your crease up from where I'm putting mine to a bit further up your lid. It will reduce obviously the amount of space you've got to play with between your brow and lid, so you may want to use a slightly smaller blending brush, but because I've got deep set eyes, I'm lucky I've got quite a bit of area to play with. So I'm going to go into the lightest of the three purples. Wow, again, crap ton of kick up in that pan, look at that. But it does mean you do get a nice lot of pigment coming up onto your brush, because that's after I've tapped off. So we're going to start off by running that along our crease like so. Then I'm going to pick up some of the loose powder that's sitting on the top of that, tap off again, and I'm just going to do little twirly motions like this. I'm holding the brush right at the very end, so I'm not putting very much pressure on my lid at all. And then reverse the direction of the brush, lift it up slightly and go back, and that's how to basically blend your colour up your lid. Now I normally take mine. You don't have to creep through the kitchen, darling, it's fine.
Cool.
I take mine to within sort of 4 or 5 mils of the lowest part of my brow. You take yours to wherever you're comfortable taking it. Okay. Don't normally film when hubby's at home, but as he's out there doing the garden, I thought I'd take advantage of it and chuck a bit of makeup on. Yeah, that's gone on nicely enough. Blended out okay. Real crap. I can't believe the amount of kick up in this pan though. Mind you, I did say they were soft. So I'm not surprised. So how's your day been so far? Good, I hope. Just continue. Once I've done all my twirlies backwards and forwards, I do tend to just buff over slightly in little tiny backwards windscreen wiper movements, backwards and forwards like that, just to make sure it's blended out nicely. You can see that's blended out quite well. I'm going to go into the middle purple is actually a sparkle, so I think I'm going to go in. I'm going to change my brush for a slightly smaller one. I'm also going to get a pencil brush because my lashes at the edge here curl up and it's quite difficult for me to get a brush that close without digging myself in the eye. So I'm just going to use a pencil brush like this to pick up some of the deeper purple. Tap off and just put that on the outer edge of my eye. I want it to take it about a third of the way along, roughly to the edge of my iris, or the coloured bit. And just make sure it's in all my little older, foldy, skinny bits. And I shall now pick up a smaller tapered blending brush, go into that purple, and we're going to give it a waggle through our crease like so. Once we've laid that on our crease there, we're just going to blend this corner a little bit. And then pick up a fraction more of that purple. And we're going to just blend this up the eye, just like we did before, but we're not going to take it quite as high this time. I'm going to concentrate it more towards our crease. I do tend to flick the outside corners up and aiming it towards the end of my eyebrow, because then if you decide you don't want to put liner on, which I may not do today, it's a very hot day, it still gives your eye the upward kind of illumination that a flick would give you, and just helps give a more youthful and happy and smiley sort of countenance to your face. I'm really quite pleased with how that's gone on. I mean, it is a little patchy here, but I'm just going to take any excess colour off of the brush. I'm just going to buff over just to really blend that purple out properly, particularly where it meets the lighter, the lilac-y purple. Just buff over those edges just to give a nice sort of soft seamless edge to it. I like that. As I said before, purples and blues are the most difficult colours to cultivate in a matte format, so I'm quite pleased with the pigmentation of this. So same thing again, I'm just going to use that pencil brush. You don't have to use that pencil brush if you haven't got ridiculously curly eyelashes at the corner there, and you can actually, you know, put pigment on this and get close enough to your lash line without poking yourself in the eye, then do that, because there's no sense in making an extra brush dirty. But if you do struggle, then that is a way around it. Now let's waggle this again through our top crease. Buff that corner again, making sure we're kind of almost flicking up towards our end of our eyebrow there. And then pick up a wee bit more of the colour and buff. The observant among you will have realised that I closed this eye and not the other one. Long-term viewers are probably shouting at the screen now, telling you why. It's because I'm blind in this eye, so if I close this one, I don't get to see anything at all. And whilst I could try relying on muscle memory, you're not necessarily going to get a very polished, seamless, beautiful look. Again, this is a wee bit more difficult to blend out than the lighter colour, but it is blending, it's just taking a little bit more time. Purples are difficult colours to formulate, I've said that about 6 times now, I think. Just taking the colour off, and now I'm just literally buffing what's there because I don't want to add any more depth of colour. Just want to blow out what's already there. Yep, quite like that. Right, I'm going to get a flat brush like this, and I'm going to go into that deeper purple that we've got on the that we just applied. I'm just going to wiggle this up under the bottom lashes, because we waggle through our crease and we wiggle at our bottom lashes. It's very important not to get the two confused. Because if you wiggle when you're meant to be waggling and waggle when you're meant to be wiggling, well, I'd hate to think what could happen. You might have to walk around on your head all day. Put your eye makeup on upside down. There's a challenge. Put your eye makeup on here. No, that's daft. Let me know if you want me to try that. Because I'm just daft enough I'd do it for you. A bit of powder fall out there into the corner of my eye. I'm just taking this darker colour about 2/3 of the way along the bottom lash line. And then I'm going to pick up a packer style brush like this. Come on, concentrate on the brush, not me. There we go. This sort of shape. And I'm going to pick up that sparkly purple in the middle, just on the very tip of the bristles there, look. Come on, concentrate on the brush, not me. Hello, there we go. Thank you. I'm just going to smudge that along that deeper purple that I've put down, just to gently soften that line out and give a tiny wee bit of sparkle at the bottom there. If you're hearing grunting in the background, it's the hubster. I promise it's not me.
Definitely me.
There you go. He even confirmed it for you. If you're lucky, a little bit later on when I finish doing this, I might drag him in so you can actually see what he looks like. But at the moment, you're tight in on my eyes, so there's not much point.
Ah, right, I see. Yeah, I've got some more bits I've got to do in the garden anyway.
Alright, baby.
I'll tell you what, later on for your update, I'll pop in.
Alright.
I'll be a bit less sweaty then as well.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Although you never know, there could be a penchant for people out there wanting to look at a sweaty man in a Stetson. I'm sure there's a niche market on YouTube for that somewhere.
SweatyMenInStetsons.com.
Yeah. If that isn't already a website, it needs to
It
be.
might well be. It might well be.
It's probably gay porn, knowing my luck. Right. Having gone completely off of the subject of makeup there, as you can see, I've just repeated the same thing under this side. Just use that sparkly purple just to buff that bottom out there. And I've now taken all the colour off of the brush, and I'm just gently really sort of diffusing that colour out. I like that. I'm going to go for a really strong look today because, well, why not? And I'm actually going to pick up the blue, because I did say blues and purples are the most difficult colours to create. So I'm picking up the blue initially on a dry brush. Might actually just dust some of that fallout away. There we go. I'm just going to apply this to the 2/3 of the lid that doesn't have any colour on it at the moment. Or is that going a little bit patchy? Let's do the other eye, where I can actually close my eye and look at it properly. Yeah, this blue's definitely a bit patchier than the purple was. Let's try wetting the brush, see if that makes any difference. I'm just going in with my Makeup Obsession Pigment Boost. But you can use anything, you can use Fix Plus, you can use clean water. Let's try putting that on with a wet brush. So, I think we're getting more colour there now. Can't see a blooming thing. That definitely looks more blue, doesn't it? It looks more grey over here. Okay. Now, because I don't like going back into the palette with a wet brush because that can cause hard pan, I colour switch it off and then just rub it off on my hand like this just to make sure that there's no... I didn't colour switch that off very well, did I? To make sure there's no moisture still on the brush. And go back into the blue. And then using my spray again. And repeat it on this side. Yeah, that blue definitely needs applying wet if you want it to actually look blue. And once you put it on there wet, it is a glorious colour. A little bit of fallout, but it's dusted away okay, so that's good. Just going to get my cotton pad here with a bit of micellar water on just to run a little bit close to the corner, so I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. There we go. That's better. Right, to clean that brush off, and I'm going to go in, I hate using my finger on shadows, but I'm going to on this one. I'm going to go into this middle silver here. I'm going to pop it on my finger and literally just push it onto the centre of my lid there, and do the same this side. And then I'm going to pick up a wee bit of it on that packer brush and just go over to just help increase the amount of pigment I've got there. Can't see a blooming thing, relying on muscle memory. And you can see by putting it on with the finger, I've actually got it on a little bit on the bottom lashes as well. But you know what? I don't mind that. I'm going to dip the tip of the bristles in and just pop a wee bit more pigment to mirror it on the bottom. Now I'm going to go in with my small brush and I think I'm going to try going in with the pink at the top here. I'm just going to pop that up under the edge of my brow, sort of like the tail of my brow where it starts to go thin. And pop a wee bit on the inner corner. Both sides, and I like to carry it down just to meet the colour that I've put underneath. I may put a bit of extra highlight on there because it's not really, it's not kicking like I like it to, but they've gone on quite well actually. Right, I'm going to pause you while I debate whether I'm going to put a wing on. I'm definitely going to put some mascara on, and I'll be straight back. Hey, I'm back. I decided against a wing, it's way too hot and I'm not really going anywhere today. So I used the 17 Vava Voom mascara, and although normally I would team a darker lip with a darker eye like this with a nude lip, I felt like taking it a little bit 80s today, and I actually managed to, I fall in love with Depop, it's going to cost me a fortune. I managed to pick up brand new, because we can't get bite lipsticks over here and I've wanted to try them for a long time, and I managed to pick up 2 little sample mini size ones that were absolutely brand spanking new, and this is the shade Cayenne, which on camera, or at least on my viewfinder, is coming off very bright orange. It's actually it's an orangey red. If you compare it to, for example, Jeffree Star lippies, it would be kind of Anna Nicole, if that helps. I did put a little bit more highlighter in the inner part of my eye there because it wasn't enough for me. I used the Jeffree Star Nefri Skin Frost. It's probably the only time you're going to get Jeffree Star and Kat Von D that close together without World War III breaking out. Right, so, final thoughts. Do I like this palette? Yeah. Blended well. Not a huge amount of fallout. What fallout there was dusted away really well. Do I recommend you buy it? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think that's something that only you can decide. You need to make your mind up whether you're happy supporting someone who has taken the stand that she has done. If you don't have any knowledge of why vaccinations are so important, please read up about herd immunity. This is about makeup. I love the palette. Am I going to buy any more of her stuff? I genuinely don't know. Anyway, let's put some setting spray on, shall we? Let's finish the look off. I'm going to go in with the Rimmel Instafix and go. You can stop there if you like. But as we all know, I'm a little bit extra. And if I've spent this long getting my makeup looking this good, I want it to long-term viewers say with me, stay put. Here's my Peter Mon moment. I have got the fan on, but it's blowing behind me, so it's not helping with the drying of the setting spray. Right, I hope you've enjoyed this video if you've made it this far. If you did, perhaps you could hit that like button for me, comment, share, subscribe. If you're subscribed, check you've hit that bell, and then you'll get notified every time I put up another one of these videos. All that's left to say is, stay fabulous. Bye for now. I nearly forgot, I'd finished the whole video, hubby was still out doing the garden, but, as promised, here comes the hubby.
Hello!
With Stetson. See, he does exist. He's not just a voice in the background of my videos, or occasionally reflected in there, which so many of my friends message me going, why can I see your husband reflected in
I didn't realise I could be reflected there, you see.
It's just lucky he had clothes on all the
Exactly.
time.
It is lucky, because
You do have a habit of wandering around with not very much on.
YouTube doesn't like porn very much.
No.
It's not a good idea.
I'm not monetised anyway, and if I was, that would definitely get me struck off the list. But just to prove that my gorgeous hubby exists...
Oh.
Hang on.
We can't go around the hat. We can't go around the hat. This is the problem.
He's been bombed. I have marked him as mine, as well as the ring. He's now got, yeah, he's mine. And bite lipsticks, beautiful, but not kiss-proof.
Definitely not. Is this a test for your review?
Yeah, you've got a bit of fluff on your
Oh,
nose.
thank you.
Oh no, actually, I think it's a little bit of
What is
something
that?
from the garden, one of those sticky weeds from the
Oh,
garden.
sticky weeds. Oh, I've been mowing the garden.
See, proof he's been doing it.
Mm.
Right, on that note, this is meant to be about makeup, not about the husband, gorgeous though he is.
I'll do my best. It's a matter of opinion, really.
I think you're gorgeous, and that's all that matters. Mwah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, who suits the lipstick best? On that note, bye!
See you later.